Welcome back to Behind the Print podcast, where we feature industry leaders and uncover the creative minds and their businesses within the world of professional printing. Our mission is to provide you with inspiring, actionable resources that elevate your business projects and accelerate your journey to excellence in profit and print. Today's episode is Healing Hearts with Hooves, and I'm here today with the owner of Tender Little Hearts, Mini Tails, and Equine Assisted Services, Terry Holmes-Stecyk.
Hi, Zoe. Thank you so much for inviting us to join you today.
Of course, we're so glad to have you. So tell me, can you just start by telling us about Tender Little Hearts and what your role looks like day to day?
Oh my goodness. So Tender Little Hearts, we are an equine-based learning resource is our primary mission with literacy and encouraging reading with the young readers. We want to get them up there by grade 4. We incorporate miniature equines. We have 4 miniature horses and 2 miniature donkeys, and we take them to schools and libraries and promote learning through the hearts of Tender Little Hearts, the miniature animals.
That is super cute. How fun. So what kind of folks benefit the most from what you offer? You mentioned 4th and younger in the elementary grade.
Yes, our primary focus is kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. We want to engage them, have them be excited about reading, learn to love to read, not that it's a chore. We want it to have a very positive remembrance when they are reading. And so we touch many different areas trying to encourage that, because all the statistics are showing that if they're not at grade level reading by grade 4, their chances of success in life significantly diminish.
That's really interesting. So how do you use your miniature horses to support these young folks through their challenges?
Part of it is the uniqueness of the experience.
Are there other organizations out there doing this same thing?
There are across the U.S. There are other organizations that do offer a reading program, whether it's at their barn or some go to libraries, but not as their general mission. Our primary mission is the literacy promotion. And the excitement of the children seeing the horses, there's just a uniqueness about it. Everybody sees a dog, and a lot of people have cats. When you hear that little clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop coming through, and then here we're walking into the school, usually into the library because they have more room. And, these little kids are just buzzing little balls of energy. It's just unbelievable. They get so excited about it. We have them breathe, do some breathing exercises, try to get that energy down a little bit. But it's just that uniqueness. And then a lot of our follow-up literature, and whether it be stickers or your amazing products that you print for us, it really does keep it in their mind. And the teachers and parents that we encounter later tell us that it's months and months, and those children are still talking about what we did.
Wow, that must have just a huge impact for the teachers.
It does. We're definitely an adjunct to what we do through the program that we offer there at the schools, and then, of course, at the library, because our time is short. Like this week, we had 100 first graders read to our miniature horses. Yes, 100. So we bring 4 to 5 usually for each visit, have our little reading sessions. We do talk a little bit, just again, get that energy level down a little bit, talk about the difference between the horse and the donkey, what they eat, that they're like us, they get their nails clipped, go to the dentist. We try to get them to get thinking about that, talk a little bit about their conformation, our eyes in front, theirs on the side, how their brain works. It's just, they get a little 10 minutes of that, and then we break them into groups, and one by one they come up and sit with the horse or donkey, and they read. They get about, maybe 3 minutes at the school. Is at that age, that's about what they can handle. In libraries, they get 8 to 10. And then on our website, we offer 10 minutes because they usually say it's a minute per age of the child for reading. So we have a 10-minute video on there that if they want to continue that. And when they come out here to the ranch, it's amazing. We'll have kids that bring 3-4 books because that's what they want to do, is read to the horses. And when they turn that book around and the horse goes, it's boom. I mean, they are like, oh my God, he's really listening to me and wanting to see the picture. And of course, they're probably just seeing the color of a carrot or an apple on the page. But, the kids really get that feeling that those animals are listening to them. They're non-judgmental. They're not correcting them. And we make a point of not correcting either. I don't care if they say a word wrong. That's up to the teachers. We're wanting that oral experience of reading aloud, which is very good for kids as they're processing and learning how to read. We want them and if they don't read, we even have kids, in second grade that still are very uncomfortable and don't have a real grasp. So we tell them just to tell the horse about the picture that they see, so they're not shamed. They don't feel, their peers aren't going to think, oh, yeah, he can't read. We don't want any shaming at all in this experience. We want it to be 100% positive.
That's beautiful. They must gain so much confidence too when they get to read and it's just not being judged by another peer or another adult. And it's just an animal that they can just hang out with.
Absolutely. And usually the special need group will come through. And we had one young boy that really was struggling with reading. And his speech therapist said, would you like to read to the horses? They're going to be here in 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, this little boy practiced and practiced and practiced with his speech therapist. And the day we were at the library, we were set up. And we didn't even say who would like to go first. Boom, he was up in that chair. And he read one page to one of our horses. And then he closed the book and he's in tears. He goes, I did it. I read to the horse, and I mean, the speech therapist was just in awe because just knowing they were coming, it gave him the want to read. And then when he was successful with it, and we just hope that continues with him. And one of the reasons we created that video is if we physically can't be there, they can still have that experience. And the man who did this, he spent 2 full days to get a 10-minute video. It's amazing. But he really captured the horse's expressions and them coming up to the camera, tilting their head. So it really does give that child the feeling that they're reading and listening to that child reading.
For sure. And with that story, that's life-changing. That's huge.
It really is. Sometimes I think I use the magical word too much because there's a reason horses are so successful with therapy and programs like this, because they truly do mimic the human relationships that we have. They have a herd. Their energy level and what they send out there into the universe is enormous for even the small horses, for as small as they are. And they connect so well with other humans. They hear their heartbeats. You see their energy as the child is stroking the horse. You see this general energy come together. And sometimes the child will just have his hand on the horse as they're reading, just keeping that connection through that experience.
That's really, really cool. Wow. So you had mentioned how you help kids with reading, but I know you guys print your own activity book. Can you tell me more about that?
Absolutely. Just having the nonprofit, we thought, it'll be fun. Young kids, let's do a coloring book. Well, that turned into quite the process. And we found a man in Indonesia who took my vision of my little stick drawings and things that I had and created that beautiful activity book with all equine based. We have horses and donkeys throughout the book. We really did do our best to make it have some diversity in it, whether it is children of other cultures, other colors, some with disabilities. We tried our best to let that shine through with that. And then we've created 2 now. Our first one was just A to Z, and it was the alphabet, learning to write the letters, spell a few simple words. Aside from the page of doing the letters and then the coloring, then we also had other activities, little mazes and follow the numbers. One of my favorite graphics in there is the ABC little fat unicorns. It's just adorable. And then it was targeted for ages 4 to 5. So then after the next couple of years, a creator here in Arizona, he just added more to the pictures to make it a little bit more background and things with the animals. And then we did word searches, things that age group really enjoys doing, and made their activities. There's like a little couple of math exercises and the mazes and puzzles and things. Draw your own, even one where they can cut and make their own little donkey as a reading buddy. So I have to tell you, we get so many compliments, not just on our content, but of the quality of the printing. And the teachers, everybody, across the board, everybody says they have never seen a higher quality coloring book than what we get through your company. And our bookmarks, the colors are bright and vivid. Everything that we've gotten from you, it's just 110, 120%. It's beyond just what you would think a little activity book would be. And at a very reasonable price for what it is. Because if you saw that on another site for sale, I'm sure it would be much, 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 much more than what your printing costs are. So we are very appreciative of you and your company.
Well, we are very grateful for you too. That's amazing to hear. And we are just so glad that everything came out so well.
Absolutely. And we plan to keep printing. I don't know that we'll do a third edition because we do third and fourth graders. They're usually ready to go on and maybe do some story writing. But I did talk to a classroom yesterday. A teacher came in who is in the fourth grade. And we were thinking that maybe in the fall we might do a collaborative effort and have the kids write a story as the classroom, do the graphics and print and have a book that they've created.
That would be so unique and fun. I would love to see that.
Well, you will, because you will be printing it.
That's true. It will come through the shop. I'll have to keep my eyes open for it.
There you go.
So what's it like wearing so many hats as a small business owner? I know before our conversation, you were mentioning all the crazy antics you were up to earlier today, but tell me, I got to know.
It's sometimes I say I'm a charity board of one, even though I have wonderful volunteers. But every morning without fail, whether I'm sick or not, you go down, you have your barn chores, feeding, cleaning, shuffling horses to and from, because our little donkeys tend to be a little robust in the belly. So where horses only process 30% of what they eat, donkeys process 90%. So we have to separate them out during the day and give their little tummies a break. But then when I'm finished with that, if we have a school visit, it's make sure the van is packed with the supplies we need. Horses are clean, their therapy vests, because they have quite the wardrobe. They have superheroes to any holiday you can think of. And then, of course, Southwest, living in Arizona, we had to do Southwest costumes as well. But make sure that's done, travel, do the visit, undo it, come back home, and guess what? Those chores are still there for the evening part of the day. And then at night, I might write a grant. I may have to catch up on some emails, send some thank yous for donations. So it's like my husband said, I should have stayed a dental hygienist because I only worked 40 hours. Now I'm probably doing 60 or more, and I don't get paid.
Goodness, it's well worth it, I bet you, though.
I've had an amazing career. Like I said, I was a dental hygienist for 40 years, and I worked over in Saudi Arabia. So, part of living abroad is you travel the world. I have been to so many countries, and we really do try to immerse ourselves in the culture. We don't stay at the fancy hotels. And I came home, I taught, did a little more dental hygiene until I fully retired. And at age 60, 62, I truly found my passion. It's what I was put on this earth to do, because there is nothing that brings me more joy than seeing a smile on a child's face, seeing a senior that has been so lonely, and then have a connection with this warm breathing animal that they're with for that hour. It's just the best. Absolutely the best.
Just priceless, unlike anything else, I'm sure.
Yeah, like I said, I really found my purpose and why I'm on this earth. So I hope the good Lord gives me a whole lot more years to keep doing this and the energy to keep doing it.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. For our curious listeners, what is something that you wish everyone knew about tender little hearts or mini horses in general?
That's kind of a two-part thing. I'll start with the second one, in that miniature horses and donkeys they're livestock. and they're not dogs. They're people, so many people, because they are so adorable. They want to get them and they end up in somebody's backyard. And I say I dabble in rescue. It's not a primary focus, but we do rescue animals that are in need. And anything from, a young horse that they just put in the backyard, had no idea they needed their feet done or anything, to a little horse that was living in a 4x8 dog kennel in somebody's backyard with the chickens. So they're livestock, they're herd mates. You have to have two. And if you're like me, they're like potato chips. You end up with 7. I think that is probably one of the most important thing is they are cute and adorable as they are. Their care is immense, and you have a long lifetime commitment for them. It's not like a dog. Horses can live well into their 40s. So that would probably be my thing about the mini horses. But the thing about Tender Little Hearts is it truly is, with our volunteers and the community out here and the community and the organizations that support us, it truly is a mission of love. And I think that the heart part sticks out more and more every single year as we do this. There's an initiative out there called I Found a Quilted Heart. We started having some of our volunteers make those for us, and we give them out, especially if we go to a child advocacy center and there's some child victims of different forms of abuse, we give them that heart. And it's something that they can go hold on to. Go to a senior care, and that may be something that they can have. Even if it's memory care, they have that heart and they can hold on to that. And whether or not it sparks something from our visit or not, it's just seeing them hold that and have something to cherish with it. And I always say the minis are the heart of Tender Little Hearts. Without them, there is no Tender Little Hearts. We walk in and I fix my hair, put on clean clothes, and I completely disappear when we walk in the room. All the focus is on those little horses and donkeys. So I'm perfectly happy with that.
That is so sweet. And people remember 10% of what you say and 90% of how they make you feel. So you're definitely making a huge difference in these people's lives.
We hope so. We really do. And often we have no idea that we have made an impact. I mean, we know we do good things. We really do. I'm not going to be that humble, but we honestly don't know the deep impact that we can make in people's lives. My very, very, very first therapeutic visit, we went to a brain trauma center in Phoenix. And this woman was standing off to the side. And if you've done those personality tests, I'm a wooer. If I see somebody by themselves, I'm going to go to them and bring them into the circle. But I had a little mare named Dolly, little blue-eyed, beautiful horse. Took Dolly over to this woman, and she got very animated and was talking, and I couldn't quite understand her, but we just smile and let her go on and on with the conversation. And we let her continue with Dolly petting and finished with the visit. Off we go. 2 months later, I get a call, and it says, Terry, you got to hear this story. We went to this center. They tried to reach the daughter to get her there because of how well her mom had responded to the horses. And the daughter goes on to tell them that she goes, I can't believe this. My mother wanted to have a horse ranch, and she was going to move to California, race horses with her boyfriend, was in a severe car accident. So obviously that did not happen. But the daughter was having a hard time, not knowing if this was the best center for her. Should she go somewhere else? And she started looking through the pictures, and the little horse we had is Dolly. And that's what her mom's parents called her, was Dolly. And she said, it's just the whole dynamics of that 10-minute visit and how it changed things for that daughter who was struggling to do the best thing for her mom. So, of course, that's the first visit we made every time we went to that center, is we would make sure and find her and make sure she had a really good visit if she was able to that day.
That is so cool. I love that so much, and how serendipitous it just ended up to be her name.
I know. They always say that, what we do does matter more than we think. And that's why we need to be kind. We need to be kinder in this world. And because we just truly never know what that one experience with a stranger or someone we know, what the outcome could be for that person later either in that day or a year from now.
That is so, so true. So looking back, what are some key milestones that have really shaped your organization?
I think we started out primarily as a literacy promotion program. That was our main focus. That's what we were going to do. And COVID hit. Things changed. So, we did more with the Zoom things and the online. I recorded, I think we have 11 books now that we had author permission to record on our website. So we did that for about a year and a half. But we still, even as things slowed down with COVID, we couldn't get back into the schools. They still were not allowing that for the children. So it shifted us to becoming an essential visitor with senior care. And we got very involved with memory care patients. The Arizona State Veterans Home allowed us to come in. We even went into hospice at one of the hospitals here. It's actually in their handbook that they allow miniature horses. And, we did an end of life experience with one woman. So it broadened our horizons. We still focus on the literacy, but it did kind of lead us to another world of some of the most touch deprived people in our society, which are seniors or people who are not well. I love being eclectic like that and maybe getting a little bit more now of a balance rather than just only focusing on the education side of things. But we've received some wonderful recognition from Daughters of the American Revolution. We were actually the national winner of their literacy promotion contest one year, which was a huge honor. And the President General was in Arizona at the state conference and presented us with the award. So that was truly exciting. And we've met just through, obviously, I'm not shy, and I do talk to a lot of people. And sometimes you have trouble getting into schools because they don't really understand the cleanliness or the professionalism of an organization. They just say, oh my gosh, you're going to bring a horse in here? No. And it's just being able to be more recognized through the different school districts. And we tried to get in with the governor, get in with Katie Hobbs. We haven't quite made it that far yet. We're hoping maybe we can get her to meet us and see what our program is. We were paying it forward. One of our meteorologists here has a thing every couple of months, and we were recognized on television. So that was pretty exciting as well, just to get that recognition of the community. And then sometimes I'll have people come up and start talking to me. I have no idea who they are, but they've met us or heard about us. And it really is exciting because we are a smaller charity. Even though we have a great impact, no one receives a penny. We're 100% volunteer. The animals are on our property. So our budget is very low. It makes it very difficult. Grant time, because a lot of the corporations want $1 million or more budget, but I'd love to have that, but we don't. And getting recognized, or I say when anybody gives me a donation, whether it's $5 or $5,000, that's somebody's hard-earned money. And for somebody to want to be a part of our program and support what we do in any of our programs, that is probably one of the most humbling parts of the charity, is that other people see what we do and they want to be a part of it. And that's the best way they can be a part of it if they can't be a volunteer or come with us on visits and things. So, for me, it's for people to trust you and want to be a part of what we've created and what we're growing.
Well, congratulations. That is a whole bunch of accomplishments, and I can't wait to see where you go in the future.
Well, we're hopeful. We became certified in a horse-powered reading. It is taught by a woman who teaches teachers how to teach literacy. And she created this program with horses. And it's more than just going to schools and libraries. It's actually a very hands-on experience, and we are incorporating that more and more, and we're hoping that we can maybe bring some retired teachers on board and really be able to do more mentoring and do more one-on-one with children who are truly struggling. Whether it's just finding out what those obstacles are out there preventing them from reading, because they're tested. We know the medical reasons, but what's some of the physical reasons? And so we're really hoping that we can grow that program, and that's kind of our next milestone that we want to have.
How exciting. What a great stepping stone to have. So, on the flip side, what are some challenges holding you back right now?
Probably the fundraising. Like I said, that is probably the hardest part. I was also raised by recession grandparents, so it's if you can't afford it, you don't do it. But part of having a 501 is doing grant writing. And I would say that's probably one of our biggest challenges is being able to get a big enough grant to really make an impact. Our location, I'm out here in this beautiful desert you see behind me, but it's 5 miles down a dirt road. And we have visitors that come every month, but they're not going to come 5 or 6 times. So we are actively looking for a property in what we call closer to town. Try to still be in the horse community, but be closer and have pavement so that parents are willing to drive their kids and then they can go grocery shop or something for the hour that the children are with us. So we just keep praying that that property becomes available and that we can get the support behind us that we can purchase that because as you know, right now, land prices, housing prices, it's just crazy. Absolutely astronomical. And Maricopa County is one of the largest growing counties with everything growing here. So just trying to keep ahead. We keep thinking, okay, we got this much and we're ready to go. And then it's like, okay, they jumped that price up $500,000. You're like, 500,000. I can't even figure saying that number, but that's probably our biggest challenge. But we're doing it. We're little by little. It just will take time and the right property will present itself at the right time. And hopefully we'll get a benefactor. Maybe you never know. Maybe something wonderful like that will happen. And someone will look at us and say, I think I want that to be my legacy. And, let's help these kids because they are our future, and if you're not reading, that future is not as near as bright. They can't just have the computer and AI and everything writing their papers for them. Yes, exactly. They need to be able to do that themselves. That's what we want to do. We want to see every single child reading and loving that they're reading, just for the fun part of it, the travel, the wild experiences you can have, but also for the educational part of why it's important that they can read.
For sure. Yeah. And like you said, it's not about if, it's about when, and timing will be everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if you're a listener out there that's a benefactor, talk to Terry if this is your passion.
We'll name the center after you. I have no problem with that.
Perfect. So, what's something you've learned about running a purpose-driven business that might help other small business owners trying to balance their passion with the operations?
Love what you're doing because if it becomes a task that you're not happy to do, it's going to affect, like you said, the purpose-driven. If I go to a school and I'm grumpy, that's not going to help those children. I mean, I always say I have to take a half a cup of coffee, get my happy juice going here to get the energy to be able to, I'm 67 now. It's a little bit harder sometimes to do all this work and then still go and do these visits. But it has to be a passion for you. You have to love what you're doing and persevere. I mean, I will say that I have been very fortunate. We have stayed in the black the entire time we have been a charity, which that in itself is a milestone. But that's also because I was working part-time. I was able to, any monies that I made went into the care of the animals until we did get more sponsors and some smaller community type grants. But just don't give up. That vision is out there. Let people help you. That's a big one. I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I have learned from others and just being able to be open to hearing other ideas and giving it a try. As long as you know it's not going to harm the animals, give it a try. Absolutely. It may be the right thing to do or the better thing to do at another time.
Those are great words of advice for any small business owner, for sure. So, one more question for you. If you had a day completely free to spend however you'd like, what would you be doing?
Oh my gosh. Oh,
no farm chores.
I know. I was going to say, no farm chores. Okay. Well, probably I love being outside. And, I could say a spa day, oh my God, to get a back massage. So we're going to put the back massage at the end of the day. We'll start with the first part of it. But I love breakfast. It's probably my favorite meal. Go out and have a delightful breakfast. Go horseback riding because I have little horses. My feet touch the ground, so obviously they can't carry me. But go take a beautiful ride in the desert. Come home. I would just love to grab whatever book I'm reading, and I do this sometimes. Is I have a chase lounge in my turnout with the horses, and I just go sit there. And I sometimes cheat. I bring their hay bags, their hay pillows up near me. I'm just listening to them munch while I'm reading my book. It's just the best day ever. And then I'll go get that back massage and then maybe have a nice little glass of red wine at the very end of the day.
That sounds like a pretty good day to me.
It sounds like
Reading
a
to some
great day.
horses.
Uh,
Yes.
It's always going to have a horse in it.
Can't stray away from the horses. You know Terry. All right. And finally, what is the best way for our listeners to connect with you, get involved with Tender Little Hearts, or support the foundation?
Well, we do have a website. My website is much like my talking. There's a lot of information, but I did try to break it down so you could go through the pages and just catch what you want. I do have some forms on there, whether or not somebody wants to volunteer with us. The donate page, oh my gosh, there's so many ways to support. And not just necessarily monetarily. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Those algorithms are horrible to work with. The more you like, the more you share. It doesn't cost you anything. That's a great way to support a small nonprofit so that our mission is getting out there to more people. Supporting the animals, we do have sponsorship levels. If you can't have a horse yourself, we'd love for you to be one of our sponsors. We try to make it as fun as we can, even if you don't live in the same state. You get pictures. Oh my gosh, I have 13,000 pictures on my phone right now. We take pictures and send them. I have done video chats with someone with whichever animal. We keep people up to date with what's happening. So that's always a lovely thing. And for a business, your business gets a shout out every time we do a visit. If you are sponsoring an animal, boom, you get that shout out. So, just keep us in your thoughts and prayers. That really is, if that's the best you can do, that's the best you can do. And there is no higher power. So he will keep shining on us and hopefully just keep letting us do what we do and grow and make the world a better place.
Exactly. So share that community. Be sure to just like their stuff anywhere you find them on social media and be kind to one another. It's super important, and we all could just use a little bit of kindness and support from our peers right now. So you heard Terry. Be a good person.
Absolutely.
And that's a wrap on another episode of Behind the Print podcast. Thanks to our listeners for joining us as we have explored the artistry and innovation of the printing world. Remember, having a strong vision, building the right strategy, and using tools like print to amplify your message will make your brand stand out from the crowd. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to stop by printingcenterusa.com and get yourself a free sample pack to share with your fellow business enthusiasts. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying, and remember, there's always more to discover behind the print.